So I know I said one teaching, but I want to take the opportunity to explain one thing to people really quickly. All right. So to understand really what the great work is, and to understand, there's some people that might say to each other, why would they do that to us? Why would they even care to? What's the purpose of doing that? Aren't they doing that to their kids? Aren't they blah, 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 blah? And they don't understand it because they are given these precepts that regulate their thoughts and their behavior. And that's what a precept is. A precept is a general rule given, it's intended to regulate your thought or your behavior. Look it up in the dictionary. That's what a precept is. So giving you a precept, the precept of I don't know, maybe the Masons are a good organization, or there are no secret societies, or there are no conspiracies, or that type of stuff. Those are all precepts. And what those precepts do is they regulate your thought and your behavior. So look up what a precept is. They give you these precepts in order to regulate your thought and your behavior. Okay? And that's the truth. And you have to understand that way, way back in the day, when it was just Genesis, and it was the beginning when man was just populating the earth. We had an enemy, and that enemy at that time was the same enemy that we have now, which is the fallen angels. And they have always been trying to devise things against humanity, and also because devising things against humanity is devising things against God. You may say, why would fallen angels fight God if they know that they're not going to win? Them winning is taking control of you. Like they're using you to kind of say nana na nana to God in a way. They're using you to stick out your tongue up at God. That's what they're doing. So, like it talks about, well, I'll say this. They taught us war. They taught us making of breastplates. They taught us the making of swords. They taught us the painting of the eyelids. Painting of the eyelids is makeup. They gave us mirrors. They gave us all these things and there's probably a whole bunch of other things that they gave us. I could probably go into it and talk about it for a long time, but I'm just trying to go over this one part so that you understand it better. And this is also that you understand. So they gave us all these things. And when they gave us all these things, it was to, turn us from where we are. Supposedly it's turning us into God, making us our own God. Whatever. You don't want to be your own God. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. Where are you gonna go without your creator? What are you gonna do? People don't really understand that. How are you gonna do something without your creator? How are you going? The intention of you is in your creator's hands. What your creator intended for you, that's what you are to do. That's what you're made to do. That's where you're gonna be most happy. Not doing something else, doing what you want to do. Like they teach, they teach do what thou wilt, do what you want to do. And in the Bible it says there is a way that a man thinketh is the best way, or and it's his own way, but it's not a good way. And then also there's so many things that people have to get right. You have to get right what the structure is. See, the reason why people don't understand that the reason why they confuse you so much and lie to you so much and give you so many illusions and delusions is because they are controlling the way that you think. They're controlling it. A precept is, I already said it in the beginning, it's a general rule intended to regulate your thought and behavior. So they're giving you this precept because they're trying to regulate how you think. Because once they regulate how you think, then they can control you completely. And if I can control how your 100th great grandmother back in the day thought, I'm damn sure going to be controlling how you think. Because I've been controlling how everybody thought in your family. Generations. Of course, I'm going to control how you think. And your precepts are going to be completely whatever. Far, whack. And so everyone walking around thinking the norm, the norm, the norm, the norm, the norm. I want to be the norm. I want to be the norm. Because that's the precept that was given to you. You want to be the norm. Be the norm. If you don't be the norm, you're crazy. You're tripping. You want to be the norm. So I see people in a mad panic trying to be the norm. If you tell them anything, if they're attached to someone that's crazy, if they, they want to be the norm, so they fight that. And so that's why you got these supposed good people who think they're so good. You're so good. And you're fighting people that are actually fighting for God. But you think you're so good. And you're fighting people that are for God. When you're not even able to be used in the fight. You're not even able to be used because you don't even know none of the truth. How can you be used if you're you don't know any truth? You're handicapped. You got to go sit down somewhere and keep blowing your balloons and, rubbing your crystal ball, whatever you think you're doing. But you're not doing anything of use while you think you're doing something. I'm going to show you a little clip where this lady she lived her whole life with these ideas and these precepts. And she gave this place 9 years. To only realize that it was all fake. The values, everything, it was fake. But I want to go back into this, what I'm trying to give. What I'm trying to give right now is I'm trying to tell you that all of every precept that you have has been given to you. Unless you get it from God, it has been given to you. And it is against God. It's sly. It's super sly. He is very sly. This enemy is very sly. And he transforms into, light. How do you make a counterfeit $100 bill? Do you just counterfeitly do it? No, you try to make it as close as possible, right? So that's exactly what the enemy does. He makes it as close as possible. We're talking about Hallel. I'm talking about the fallen angel Hallel right now. And the other angels are just under him. But this is the being that's in charge. And he's in charge of the people that are in charge of you. They will never tell you, yeah, this is what we're doing. They can't. They can symbolically show you in a way, but they can't. They will never come out and say, yeah, this is what we're doing. They will never do that. But they give you all these precepts. All these precepts have been ingrained in you from 0, 1, all the way on, through high school, through college, through your adult life. All you want is to be accepted by this society. That's all you want. You want to get awards from the society. You want to be accepted by it. And to be accepted by it, you have to be the norm. And then the other thing, though, is that's going to make you really want to take that mark. It's going to be real hard for some of these people who claim to be such good Christians to not take that mark. Because if you understand, man, this mark is going to be everything that you have been taught to love. You're not going to be able to go to the mall. You're not going to be able to buy no food. You're not going to be able to go to McDonald's. You're not going to be able to nothing without this mark. You understand that? You're going to be straight up not the norm if you don't have this mark. Okay? And that's going to rub you the wrong way if you don't get ready for this. But I'm still trying to explain why they would do it. Look, Satan needed some people to help him. He can't just... I will go into that later. I'll give a little bit right now, but I really want to not teach all this stuff right now. Here's the point. You're in the game. You're manifested. You live in a manner world. Your world is manner. This is the environment that you live in. You live in a world that is matter. Hallel and them, they are not made out of matter, but you are. So they need you in your physical environment. They need you to do stuff in it. That's why they have to use these hosts or these are possessed people, because you're in the game. You're manifested. You are a piece of matter that they have to use. So they have to use you because they're not physical. They have to use you in order to be physical. See? And you may look at a rock like a rock is not wondrous, but a rock is wondrous. A rock is wondrous because it's a constant matter. A rock is constant matter. That's what planets are. They're big rocks. It's constant matter. That's like, whoa. In a world where there's no matter, constant matter is like, whoa. How'd you do that? You understand? It's like that. You looking at it like this is your norm. But this is wondrous. You live in a wondrous environment. A bird is wondrous. A elk is wondrous. The sky is wondrous. The clouds, the rain, the snow. All of this is wondrous. This is a wondrous environment you live in. You are wondrous. A wondrous creation. See? And so, because he needs you and your permission as well, that's why he did it. That's why he does what he does. He needs to make a deal with you in order to do things here. And he really wants to do things here. And that's how he accomplish. That's how they accomplish doing things here. They get your people to do it. You understand? They can't just come here and be like, They need manifestation. They need something here to do it. They need your permission. And then when they also, like back in the day, they used to have, anyways, let's not go into that part. I want to say that Babylon, back in the day, Genesis 11, remember this. Okay, I always say that the world is about 50,000 years old, actually. It's not 6,000 like they try to say. It's about 50,000. Because all of that stuff happened over a long period of time. From Genesis 1 to Genesis 11, that's not just like 500 years. In my eyes, I think that's maybe like, 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 years. Okay? And so understand that at that time, Hallel had, in the fallen angels, they had it sewn up, just like they have it almost sewn up right now. They had it sewn up. They had everybody was speaking the same language. They had people in agreement. They were getting ready to. They were building this tower that reached heaven. They had the city. They named the city. See, he brought them all together to do this thing that they were doing. And God said, if I don't stop this, nothing that man imagines to do will he not do. See? So God and the angels came and stopped it. They intervened. And like I said in the last video, that was the biggest intervention. That was the biggest intervention right there. Because they came and stopped it. Now, when they stopped it, you have to understand, if you've been working for 8,000 years, man, to put this order together, you are Hallel. You are these fallen angels. They think they're doing something. They were doing something. Never did they think that God was going to come and the angels are going to come and stop it. You see, they thought they were about to complete their work. And here come God and the angels stopping it. Not only did they stop it, but they moved everybody. They think about angels moving people, God moving people, putting you over here, your people over here, these people over here, these people over there. That's what he did. That's how you got all these people everywhere. Then he, these people, they all got different languages. You see, they got different languages. So now you're thinking, what does that have to do with anything? What you don't understand is it's not like he knew those languages right off the bat. Not like Hallel knew those languages. And he confused the people. I mean, yeah, it says he confounded them, which means he confused them. They had amnesia as to what they were doing. Do you understand? They had amnesia as to what they were doing. They were building a one world government. Now, all of a sudden, everybody is moved. Everybody don't know what's going on. They are different languages and stuff, and they're confused. They don't even know what they were just doing. So all that knowledge and what they were doing and all that stuff was lost. It was lost. It was lost, man. I promise you it was lost. God intervened in a huge way. That was huge. People don't even talk about how huge that was. That was the messing up of his new world, of his world order. This is the new world order. That was the first world order. That's the old world order. This is the new world order that's about to be hitting right now. Okay, that was the old. That was his first attempt. Then God, look how, so now, picture everybody confused. Look how long it's taken him to put together a new world order. Look how long it's taken him. I tend to think that was like 32, maybe 40,000 years ago. It took him that long to put together another new world order. Man has been in charge. Man has been in charge. He slowly but surely turned, got people, offered people stuff, and got control of kingdoms. By the time Jesus came back, by the time Jesus came here 2,000 years ago, he almost had every kingdom that there is under his feet. He had a lot of kingdoms under his feet when Jesus came. That's why he was able to offer Jesus those kingdoms. He just wasn't done with the work. Because you not only do you have to get like the kings and stuff to agree with your world order and be working for you. Not only do you have to get them working for you and stuff, but you also got to make the people a certain kind of way. See, that's one of the things. He made all the people a certain kind of way. If you look at the people today, how they are, I don't want to go into that right now, but the people are very far off from what people used to be. It's like they're opposite of how they're supposed to be. Like anyways, I'm not going to go into that. I'm not even going to go into that situation. I'm trying to tell you, like, people are just far off from where they used to be. I can tell. And I'm sure, and I've noticed a lot of other people could tell, and there's writings about it and stuff. But that is for reason of use. Everything that Hallel and his other fallen angels are doing are for reason of use. All of it is for reason of use. They're giving you these perceptions for reason of use. They're doing everything that they're doing for reason of use. They are bringing in this new world order. Even you think. So then you would think to yourself, why have presidents? Why have politicians? Why have blah, blah, blah? Because they need your will. They need you to agree to it. They need your will, man. They can't just do it. There's rules to this. They need to tell you what they need to at least make it available for you to know. And then they also have to have your permission. That's why you have representatives for each place you're in. They represent you. They represent your choice. They represent your will. They represent you. Your district, they even break it down to like neighborhood and district and stuff because they are your representatives. And you have agreed to that. By being here, you agree to that. You agree to have representatives. They need the law to do it. They have to do it by law, through law. They can't just pop, there it is, new world order, let's do this. They can't do that, man. They have to do it by law. See? Because you're in play. And this place has rules. This is a physical world with rules. Rules. And they have to do it by those rules. They can't just do it. So that's why you have these laws and stuff. That's why they have representatives. That's why the representatives will never tell you. That's why the politicians will never come out and say, yeah, this is what we're doing. Dude, they can't, for reason of use, they can't tell you they're doing that. Dum-dum, they can't ever say that they're doing that for reason of use. Because you won't let them represent you then. Would you let them represent you if you knew what they were really doing? No. So for reason of use, you can't know, right? Thank you. You can't know. You can't know. Now I want you to check this lady out. All right? This lady, like I said, man, she was doing her job for years, man, in the Air Force. And I bet she grew up getting awards and really wanting these awards and really wanting the accolades of her peers and of her teachers and all that. And I bet she got some. I bet she had a husband. She does talk about being divorced and stuff, but everybody wants that perfect life. Everybody wants that so-called American dream, that norm. But all they're doing, they're giving you the a false sense of security. They're also giving you the illusion of freedom. You have the illusion of freedom. You don't have real freedom. You got the illusion of it. You understand? This is not, you need to really process what you really have, what you have in your hands. Do you have a cake in your hands from God, or do you have a cake in your hands from Satan with spiders in it? I think it's a cake with spiders in it. But you won't know that until you take a closer look. You can't just glance at the world. And then how are you going to be a Christian knowing this world is in the hands of the wicked? And I know like a few people like that here where I live now. They're so Christian, so into God. Oh, God this, God that. I got the Holy Spirit, all this stuff they say. But they are so into politics. They argue about politics. Like, I like this guy better. This guy sucks, man. Oh my gosh, are you serious? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And you're sitting here talking about you love these people and arguing about which one is the best. That's an illusion. If you don't have enough discernment to see what these people are really doing, how do you think you're of use to God in any kind of way and you know what's going on? You don't even know the players. You don't even know the players. You don't even know the people. You can't even identify who evil people are, who good people are. You don't even have no way to decide that. You have no discernment capabilities. That's what I would tell those people. But anyways, look at this lady right here, and I want you to hear what she says.
And said, "Have you ever heard of chemtrails?" Well, I hadn't. And that sparked my interest. So I went online and I looked at chemtrails. I saw a lot of, debunking, a lot of sites that were just kind of calling it a conspiracy theory. And I thought, well, geez, this is what I do for a living. Preventive health, making sure that people are not getting sick, especially in the workplace, and by things that we're doing that can affect, human health and the environment. To summarize it, in an attempt to debunk this conspiracy theory as I thought it was, I didn't debunk it. It literally changed my life. Like I said, this is hard for me because it's not easy standing here and telling my story. One day I was going through that computer system, which if you want to look it up, it's called an Air Force Form 3952. It is the approval of hazardous materials. I was finding tons and tons of large quantities of aluminum, barium, strontium in the forms of oxides and sulfates.
Metals and gases.
Of course I knew that there's
Poisonous
industrial
gases.
processes you may not have heard of, but it's bead blasting, pneumatic sanding, shot peening. There is certain medias that's similar to that is used. However, I had already accounted for that. I would sit and look at this computer system and say, this shop wants to order this paint. I'm going to tie it to a task. We had to know what was being used, why it was being used, tracking it cradle to grave on how we were going to dispose of it to be compliant with OSHA and the EPA. One of the legal requirements in approving these is looking at what used to be called the material safety data sheet. On that sheet, it's going to list the manufacturer. It's going to list some maybe required personal protective equipment that needs to be used or some ways to mitigate the exposures. These electronic MSDSs did not have a manufacturer name. They were very vague. They almost looked to me like somebody had made it and scanned it into the system. So I asked the question, what is this being used for? I never got an answer, so I didn't approve it. And it sat there. And then the heat came down. Are you behind on your 3952s? Only a select few of us did that. So I started asking questions. And at that point, my demonization began. I made my rank I was decorated. I was a non-commissioned officer of the quarter.
Awards.
I won lots of awards. I had no reason for anyone to attempt to demonize me. So then I get moved over to the other Air Logistics Center. There's only 2 in the Air Force, which is in Warner Robins, Georgia. This kind of carried with me, and I thought, you know what? Should I revisit this? Is it worth it? Did I hit something? Maybe it's need to know. I started finding the same things at Robins Air Force Base. I was now doing some more investigation work. Part of what I did was to use a high volume air sampler to air sample up to, I'd say, a football field in about 10 minutes. I also conducted soil sampling because I thought, you know, if this is real and they are spraying this, it's going to get to the ground. So I conducted air sampling, I conducted soil sampling, and I was getting high levels of these contaminants. When I started asking the question again under a new commander, I never in my life thought I would have somebody look me in the face and tell me, I am questioning you. Is there something wrong with you? You've been looking really depressed lately. You know I can put you under mental evaluation for up to 120 days. Who would take care of your daughter? Because I was divorced at the time. As soon as I heard that, I knew. It validated everything I ever thought. And I thought, I've spent 9 years of my life trying to protect human health, and here we are violating law after law after law. Just sitting here, instead of protecting the people, we are poisoning the people. And I've never got up so much courage from that fear of being thrown in a cage, because when you're in the military, folks, you're a number. You are a number, and every aspect of your life is controlled. I was so lucky that my enlistment was coming up and I was supposed to re-enlist. I ran and did not look back, and I have been blowing the whistle and shouting ever since. And I left October 27, 2010.